everyone, this is Yvonne from Yvonne Ceramics. In today's video, we're going to do an unboxing of an order I recently purchased from Chrysanthos Colours. So here's my order. I haven't opened it yet, so we'll do the unboxing together to take a look at the crystalline glazes I ordered, and then we'll put them on test out. At the end of the video, we'll look at some of the test outs. Let's take a look at this package. So it's shipped through FedEx. It has a little symbol here for saying that it's easy to break. It looks like it's packaged really well. Shipped through FedEx with tracking. And I ordered early of the week and I got it within the week. So it was really quick. So let's open it up and see how the packaging inside looks like. So I really wanted to try some crystalline glazes, and I'm a little bit too lazy to mix my own glazes because it's winter time here and all my materials are in the garage. So it's too cold to work in the garage these days. So I thought I will just try out some pre-mixed crystalline glazes from Chrysanthos. So the company is from China. They actually ship this from China. And so we'll see. It's quite a far away from China to Canada. I don't see any dent on the package, so that means it's handled really well. And I ordered the pine, so there are the smaller size and then the pine size, which is this one here. The inside looking here, there's like good styrofoam here blocking from the sides. And I ordered 4 glazes. This is the first one. So the crystalline glaze, they call the Supernova glaze collection. And this one is the Electra. And it is fire to mid-range. And they gave me really good directions on how to apply, because as we all know, crystalline glazes, they run a lot and oftentimes you need to put a catcher on it. So the direction here is that shake well, apply 3 to 4 coats on bisque, maybe sponged on, wash brushes in water, not food safe glaze, not for spray application. So it's for brushing, and because of crystalline glaze and how the crystals are developed in the kiln, it is not food safe. So most times people would put on the outside of a vase. So it's not for non-functional work and sculpture. So this is Electra. And this one is the Rigel. And Nemesis. And Alcor. Let's take this out the way. Let's open up. So it looks like they also taped here as well. Yeah, so they taped here as well to prevent the glaze from spilling during the shipment. So that's good. Is it the same for all of them? Yes, they taped all of them, so really nice shipping. So what you could do, I just saw that it has a little hole on the lid, so that means you can, after you take off the tape, you can just squeeze it on your paint palette and brush it on. It's best to use porcelain when you're doing crystalline glazes because the colors show through better on porcelain clay, but you can also use on stoneware clay. So I've got some long test tiles here that I've made before, so these are already bisqued. The reason why I'm using long test tiles is because I know it will run. So I have lots of surface area and the length for it to run. And the little divots here is for, I want to see if I have some carving on the vase, what it will look like on these areas. And then I can also glaze the back as well on a smooth area. So that's my test tiles. Let's open up the tape. And I'll pour some onto my paint palette. Alright, so let's pour the first one. This is Alcor. I'm gonna pour it onto my paint palette here. I made this myself using stoneware clay. I think that's more than enough. Okay, let's close this. So as you can see, the glaze is quite thick. It's not really runny. Okay, and for my test towel, it's best to label on the bottom here. So I have Alcor's black and the glaze pencil. I like to use this to label my test towel because there's no way I would remember what I did if I don't label. So this is Alcor, and they said to brush 3 to 4 coats, so I will say times 4. So I'll remember I did 4 times. And I also emailed the company about this specific order because I wasn't sure if they can ship it to Canada all the way from China, and they did, and they also did a great job shipping. They also told me about crystalline glaze. They said that you want to leave 3 centimeters from the bottom of the pot. So I have my ruler here. That's 0 on my ruler. I don't know if you can see. That's 0. So 3 would be here. So I'm gonna make a mark here to help myself. So that's 3 centimeters. So they said do 1 coat from 3 centimeters and up, and then the second coat a little bit above, and then more. I think the reason why they said 3 centimeters from the bottom of the pot is so that it would have room for it to run. So I'm going to do 2 tests. The first one will be, this is the 3 centimeter space. I'll do the exact same direction they told me on this side, and on the back side I want to glaze. Maybe if I leave 1 centimeter, what would happen if I leave 1 centimeter? So that's my line. I'll also mark the side as well. So that's 1 and that's 3. And I'll label on the bottom 1 centimeter and 3 centimeter. I could even go further and go onto my glaze journal and write down specifically what I did, but I think I should be okay if I did the marking. So I've got my clean water, my fan brush for brushing, just dipping it into the clean water, wipe off some excess, and just feel like the texture of the glaze. It's thick, but similar to Alcor's brushing glaze. So if you are not familiar with brushing glaze, you might have trouble and struggle with the brushing of it, but then it's very easy if you use a wet fan brush. So I'm going to start with the 1 coat on the back, and then 1 on here. For my experience, you want to have a thick coat, but you also want to dry in between coats. So I'm gonna let this dry. The back it's already dried. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my second coat. And for the second coat, I'm going to leave a little bit of room, not all the way to the bottom. Same for here. And I'm not glazing the side because if you can see this test out, if the glaze going to run, it will still catches on here instead of running on my kiln shelf. If I glaze the side, there's nowhere for it to catch on the side. That's why I only glaze the front and the back. I'm gonna let this dry, and then I will also go ahead and do the test out of the other glazes. Okay, while I am still waiting for this one, the first test towel to dry, I'm going to start on the second test towel. This one is Rigel, and I've already labeled all my test towel. This one here. So I have a different brush, and I'm just going to do the same thing. 3 centimeter from the bottom on one side and 1 centimeter on the other side. And then letting it dry. I want to take this time to talk a little bit about the firing. So you can run the normal cone 6 firing with these glazes. However, the crystal might not develop, or they might not develop as big as you would like them. So on their website, they have crystalline firing schedule that you can input onto your computer to basically do a hold in your firing so that the crystal can develop during the firing at the peak temperature. You can go on the website to take a look. And so it's still cone 6, but they just like the kiln to hold so that the crystal can develop. The next kiln I'll be doing, which is a bisque kiln. So it will take me quite a little bit of time to get these tests out in, but that's okay. I think it's worth it to wait for the special firing. So if you don't have your own kiln and you're using your community studio kiln, it might be a little bit more challenging because you cannot control your own firing schedule. You might have to rent out the whole kiln so that you can control your schedule. So I finished the test tiles. I did 4 coats on each of the test tiles. So I just need to let it dry first. And then I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I also put it on a vase just to see. So I've got this extruded vase here with 4 sides, which would be perfect because I have 4 glazes to test on. Then I'm gonna put 1 glaze per side, and then when I'm firing, I'll put this on a cookie so that it doesn't run on my kiln shelf. So with this vase, I've already poured clear glaze on the inside, and I did the marking of 3 centimeter from the bottom using underglaze pencil, and also on the bottom I labeled which side has which glaze. But then it will look quite bare. I'm thinking that without any glaze on here, so I'm thinking I would try and put some clear glaze on where this 3 centimeter mark is, and then if it runs, it'll just run on to the clear glaze. So we'll see how this experiment goes. So I finished glazing the vase. Still a little bit wet, need to dry it up a little bit, but glaze 1 glaze on each side of the vase with clear on this part, and also glaze the test towel. So I'm going to let it dry before putting that into my kiln. So I unloaded the kiln and want to show you guys the final result. So these are the test tiles. This is the green one with the green crystal. This is the Electra. And then this is the blue one with the blue crystal. And this is the Rigel. As you can see, here's the mark for the 3 centimeter. These are the 2 marks. And it does run a lot. That's the 3 centimeter mark. So I'm glad I put it on a test tile. And this is the core. Okay, so I marked here 1 centimeter and 3 centimeters. So this is the 1 centimeter and that's the 3 centimeter. Okay, so I think it stops some of the running because it has the ridges here, whereas this is a flat tile. That's why it ran more. I think it's the same with these guys as well, that with the ridges it kind of stopped a little bit more running. Same for this one. And the last test tile is, this is the Nemesis. Okay, so this is the 1 centimeter and 3 centimeter mark. This one didn't run as much, but on this side it did run more because of the smooth surface. This is the pink with the pink crystal. That's the yellow with the blue crystal. And looking at it on vase, so this is an extruded vase I did here with the 3 centimeter mark here. It is a smooth surface, so it ran quite a bit. I'm glad I have a cookie underneath here. And that's the blue one. I love the crystals on it. And that's the yellow with the blue crystal, and this is the green crystal. I wish there's more crystal development on here, but it looks like the crystal were more randomized. But that's it for today's tutorial. Thank you everyone for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.